Butterfly Effect is a movie. Well, let's start off from the beginning. So, I'm sitting at home and I'm watching. I actually ended up watching this other movie. This movie with Steve Carell in it, where he gets divorced from the girl from Boogie Nights, Julianne Moore, and it was actually a really good movie. And like, I don't know, call me gay or whatever, but what's his name dresses pretty sharp in the movie, and I think I'm gonna start kind of like gradually moving in that direction of just dressing GQ and nice and not, Jordan sweats. And even though I love my JOs, but I think I'm gonna gravitate that way. Anyways, as I'm watching the movie, I'm really, really I just enjoyed it, even though I guess it kind of could have been a chick flick, but I don't like not watch a movie because it's considered a chick flick. You know what I mean? Like, I watch a movie if it's good. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll listen to music even if it's from a genre I don't like. Ooh, no. But I'm sitting there, and you know how you write out like a text message, and then you get that little opportunity kind of to send it, and I'm just like, do I want to send this out? Do I want to send it out? I'm like, no. Delete the whole thing. Start typing again. Delete it, and I'm just like, and I do that with YouTube videos sometimes, guys. Like, sometimes I'll do a whole YouTube video, and then I'll watch it, and I'll be all ready to upload it, and then I'll just kind of sit there and I'll be like, should I put this up? And like, I'm talking like I've worked like 2-3 hours on a video that I end up not putting up. So go figure. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm wanting to send this text message, but then I go, I need to stop worrying about how I will be perceived, and just say what's on my mind. Because like, whenever I just say what's on my mind, people tend to like it more than when I worry, or if I constantly don't, or if I just want to go. I've talked about this before with the whole silence thing. Silence is fucking golden. Anyways, but I don't send it. So whatever interesting, possibly life-changing, anything, whatever that was in that text message, is never going to be seen, right? And I always find that interesting, like the idea that shit's not like, great grandeur things are just deleted. You know that Stephen King could probably write a book, write out the most amazing book in the world, and then if he wants to, you can just delete it. Bam. And that's crazy to me. In the movie The Butterfly Effect, I'm going to link you to a video that talks about the actual idea of the butterfly effect, and I'm going to ruin the Butterfly Effect movie for you. So if you have not seen it, I suggest you stop watching this. Or if you don't care, it doesn't matter. I don't know. But basically, the butterfly effect is this. The flap of a butterfly's wings could potentially cause a hurricane on the other side of the world. And the reasoning behind that, and it's true, is I'll give you a prime example. Let's say you met your soulmate at a coffee shop. You met her at a coffee shop while you're standing in line for coffee. You meet her, and you end up spending the rest of your life with her. From that one point, the initial meetup, from that one point. Think about key people in your life and where you've met them. If this is outside of school, most people that are young when they're in school, they get it from that. But I'm talking about, think about it from a point of view of, where did you meet this person? Where did you find this thing? Or where did you come across this or whatever? A lot of times it's from very, very precise moments in crossing paths in life, right? So let's go back to the idea of you meeting your soulmate, okay? Or the person that you end up spending the rest of your life with. Let's say you met him at a coffee shop, right? Now, before this instance, let's say that you were sitting at a stoplight. Oh no, perfect. I just came up with this. Perfect. Let's say you're driving and it reaches that point when the light goes yellow and you have to make a decision. Do I slam on my brakes or do I keep going? Now, in the instance where you keep on going, you end up pulling off the side, go to get your morning coffee or whatever, meet the girl or dude of your dreams, depending on whatever's, and everything's great. And then, fast forward through life, and now you've lived your life with this person. Now, let's go back to that point when you're driving through that light, and you go, you know what? Fuck it. Slamming your brakes. So now you're at a red light, and you're sitting there for a while, and then you drive, and you go to that coffee shop, and, you didn't meet. Now, in the movie, The Butterfly Effect, there is this introduction of fate. I'm sorry, fate. There's an introduction of fate. Because I think that if we were to use that same scenario when we're talking about the butterfly, when using that same scenario about, meeting your future wife at like a coffee shop, the idea that I used was just that small change in the order of operations caused you not to meet your wife, right? But the idea of fate is that maybe you didn't meet her, or maybe she was getting coffee and she left and you held the door open for her and made contact, and then you guys still got together. See what I'm saying? In the movie The Butterfly Effect, basically what happens is he goes and he lives his life through 21 years, and shit's pretty fucked up. Like, shit just isn't the way it is, and he, by reminiscing through old books he's written when he was going through like these blackout periods, he is able to go back in time, change that one thing, and then it drastically changes everything. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's why, first off, time travel just doesn't happen. It's just not within the realm of things. It's interesting to a person like me. I fucking totally dig the idea of time traveling and the idea of going back and changing things or having knowledge of the previous. But the problem with it is you can't just change one thing. It's not like you just are going to just take one thing from it and it's not going to affect everything else. So so in the movie The Butterfly Effect, he first goes through it and then he goes back to when he was like 7, and then he changes one thing and everything's perfect, but then it's not. And what basically happens is that he plays out this entire cycle of events in his well, I don't want to say in his head, because that's what it kind of is, but like he plays out all these events that he's going through. Now, what happens though, and obviously this is a movie and there's artistic merit to it or whatever, but what happens though is that he realizes that the idea of fate plays such a big role in it, that even though he's able to, knowing what he needs to do, knowing that he has the game changers and that he could do, he knows the outcomes of his actions, this and that, no matter what, every time the girl that he is infatuated with always ends up basically being unhappy. And he was able to see it in one situation where he wasn't part of the girl's life, and was able to realize that, that him being around wasn't going to make her happy. The butterfly effect is that I truly believe that the butterfly effect, it needs to be in like the love category, because it's honestly a love story. Now, the director's cut and the theatrical cut are a little different, and the reason why I say that is because, they are. I like the director's cut better, because in the director's cut, what he does is he goes back to when he was, a baby, right? And then chokes himself with the umbilical cord. And they reference that in the movie a couple times, like when she was talking about how she was a smoker or whatever, and the doctor says that, she's had, they called Ashton Kutcher's character a miracle baby because she's had 3 miscarriages. And that's some crazy shit if you think about it. That means that this whole scenario of a person living his life out and with the ability to restart it or reconfigure it, They found out that it was better not to live at all with that power. So basically, like, they lived their life 3 times within this dream world, but then they said, no, okay, it's actually better that I didn't make a stance here. It actually, like, think about that. Like, if you had the ability to redo life and try to have, like, a perfect run of life so many times, then you actually rage quit life. And that, to me, is kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy to me, and it's kind of, like, that's why that movie is so deep and on so many different levels. That's why I really, really like it. And the same kind of idea where all that could happen. Like, think about that. Think about the brain hemorrhaging you would have if you were to live 3 lifetimes, and then at the end of it go, you know what, this wasn't a good idea, and to go back to the start and just go, bloop, delete, no more. Think about that for a second. And that's what, honestly, I know, like, I don't want to say this is a bad thing, but, like, that's, that whole scene, that whole sequence that I just described to you, that goes through my head every single time I make a simple text message. So, I mean, that's kind of like a heavy, thought-provoking thing that I constantly go through. And I think the reason why I self-medicate with, with drinking and partying and stuff like that is because, like I said before, my mind works so fucking crazy that it just needs a moment to fucking chill the fuck out. Cause that whole scene, that whole situation I described right there, that goes through my mind all the time. Like, I've literally had, like, deep, long thoughts that basically go to the point where me go, you know what, I don't even want to fucking share this. And that's the interesting thing with the YouTube thing, guys. Like, I have no issue fucking letting you know what is on my mind. I have no issue talking to you guys like this. But in, like, what I call the real world, because I still consider this YouTube thing, like, it's still a joke to me, and it always will be. Like, everyone that takes it super seriously, do you? But, like, it's the internet, it's YouTube. Like, come on, bro. And so I have no issue sharing that stuff with you. Now, I've talked about the Peter Pan syndrome before. Well, with the thing with Peter Pan syndrome and the thing with the butterfly effect is, like, because of my fear of death and because of, wanting to always, like, I'm talking about bear grip onto the fact of being a kid forever, which is honestly, like, what I would like to do. Like, I don't want to get old. I want to be forever young. You know what I mean? That's just what just seems natural to me, and then just what I want to do. The problem is, if I want to be forever young, I need to actually take care of myself in the physical form. We all know I'm fucking fat. Like, I fucking sit at home and play Call of Duty, and I drink too much. So, and I party too much. And every other day I'm hungover, and it's kind of ironic because I want to live forever, but not only am I taking recovery days, but I'm probably taking days off the end result. So, the idea of the butterfly effect, where you can, by making one small change, you can be drastic. I haven't even flapped the wings yet, man. See what I'm saying? Like, I haven't even flapped the wings yet. And so, and also, I've been not taking care of myself physically, and I haven't been, like, I've been too social. You know what I mean? Like, I've been too worried about doing social things when I need to worry about taking care of myself. So, like, I need to get fit. I need to take certain vices out of my life. And I think it's time for me to flap my wings, in a sense. Does that compute? Because, You know, I want to live forever, but I'm definitely not going to live forever at the current. Basically, the current formula that I got is not working, and I don't feel healthy, and I don't feel good, and I love the people around me, but I think I need to be a little selfish. You know what I'm saying? I've always thought about that though, guys. Like, whenever someone, like, let's say someone's like learns about me or meets me for the first time, and I go through the whole process telling them what I do. I can't be there when they listen to a commentary. The worst possible idea would be to have me and would for someone to come in here after I do this commentary, and they're like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I just did a commentary for my channel. And they're like, can I listen to it? I was like, sure you can. I can't be here. I can't be in the same room with you while you listen, because I'm able to differentiate the YouTube world and the real world. And I think that a lot of people blur that too much. But the same way that I'm holding on to wanting to be a child or wanting to be forever young or whatever, I'm holding on to that so tough in the same way that I'm holding on to the idea of keeping YouTube and real life separate. Even though I tend to bring a lot of the real life into my YouTube, I just think it's a healthier, it's a point of reference, and it's just better that way. And whenever I talk about how I do things or whatever, that's not saying that it's the right way. It's just the way that I do it. My personal stances on stuff shouldn't affect, you. I think that there's this weird thing. I think I'm going to make a commentary about this as well. But there's this really odd thing where I don't like the idea of being a role model, because I'm not. I don't want anybody to, like, when I'm talking to young kids, and like I was playing basketball with this young kid today, and you could tell that person was looking for like a role model or a big brother or something, and I don't know if I want to be that to somebody, because it sucks when you find out that the people that you idolize, I hate to use that word, but it sucks when the people that you look up to or think are amazing, and then when you finally meet them, you go, wow, that's not the person that I was expecting. So, ONLYUSEmeBLADE. That was a long Sunday Chill commentary. I haven't done one in a while, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Go ahead and flap your wings there. Peace and butt grease. I promise San Andreas.